Welcome to the fastest daf in town. Today we're going to Masech this Taanit daf Daled. We are going to begin on Daled Manav, the second half of the top. Yomi Rabbi. Hi Summa Rabbanan. If you have this young Talmid Chacham, Dami Lipar Sida, which we mentioned in yesterday's daf on the very top Rashi actually, Geshamim Dakim, which are comparable to these small drips of water going onto the seeds, the Tute Kala, which again goes onto the clumps of earth where there's seeds. Kivan de navat navat. Once it sprouts, it sprouts. In other words, once, as Rashi says, kach talmid chacham kivan sheyatza shmo hoylech v'gadol ma'ala. That once he starts growing, he grows tremendously. Which of course is the comparison of children, kindergarten, and the whole notion of people are like trees. The Omer Rabba, Haisumar Rabbanan, the Rasach, if let's say you have this young Talmid Chacham who is angry, Oraisa Hudika Miratcha Le. It was actually the Torah inside him which got him to be excited and passionate and expressing his feelings. And Rashi says, Kamashmal, and this is come to teach, the Chiyav Nuden L'Kavschus. We have to judge them favorably and understand the reasoning why. Shenemar haloi kod divri ke'eshnom Hashem, that the Torah is like fire that burns the body, and therefore he has this enthusiasm inside of him. V'yom Ravashi kol Talmid Chacham shenu kasha kabarzel. If you have a Talmid Chacham who's not strong like iron, eno Talmid Chacham. So he has to have some element of a backbone and be strong, and not a pushover. Shnemer uke patish yefait itzel, just like a hammer of a blacksmith which smashes a rock, so too when it comes to the Talmid Chacham. Omer le Rabbi Abel Ravashi atayin mahasam asnisalon. You learn it from there. Anan mahacham asnisalon. We learn it elsewhere. Chsev eretz, the land asher avaneha barzel, that its stones are of iron. Al tikri avaneha el boineha. It's builders, and we know that the Talmid Chachamim are likened to builders. Ravina fil hachamim boili leinish lemelef nashe benichusa. Even though you have the natural desire through your Torah to have this enthusiasm that you may get a little bit angry and hot under the collar, you have to develop and to teach yourself to be calm. Shnemar v'haser kas milibach. You have to remove the anger from your heart. Omer Rav Shmuel bar Nachmani, Omer Rabbi Yonasan. Shloish shol shloi kahaygen. Famous Gemara. 3 people asked things improperly. Mishnayim, regarding 2 of them, hishivuhu kahaygen. They were answered properly. L'achad hishivu shlo kahaygen. However, 1 was not answered properly. This is actually a softball question, which is TA 22. Mi hem shloish shol shloi kahaygen umi nizdamnu lahem. And who did they come across? So we'll understand the answer to that question as we continue in the Gemara. So the answer is as follows. Ve'elu hein, Eliezer Eved Avraham, V'Shaul ben Kish, V'Yiftach HaGiladi. So Eliezer Eved Avraham, as we found in Parshas Chayisara, Dechsiv, he went to find a wife for Yitzchak. V'Haya Hanara Asher Amar Leha Hatina Kadech, the one who's going to end up giving water for myself and for the camels. Oh, that must be the woman that's fit for Yitzchak. But that's not really so true, because Yachal feel chigeres, I feel suma. It could have been a woman who was a chigeres, someone who was physically lame, or someone who was blind, which of course is interesting because Yitzchak does become blind, which you would think maybe that's a shidduch. Hey, shivu kahaygen. Nonetheless, he was answered properly. When his damnuli Rivka, so Rivka came across. Shol ben Kish, dechsiv v'haya isha asher yekanu yashrenu hamelech oisher gadol. So the one who is successful in conquering this giant Goliath, who's the Pelishti, who can somehow defeat them, they'll become rich. Vesbitu yitin loy, and I'll also give you my daughter, who ends up being Michal. Yochel afil Eved, afil Mamzer, Hashiva Kohagin was dominantly David. Of course, we know David defeating the giant. Yiftach Hagiladi. So this third person, something bad happened. In Parsha Shoftim, the Shofet said, he said, if I'm victorious in this battle, the first thing that comes out of my door, my house, will be sacrificed to God. It could be a pig, right? You can't bring that as a carbon. So Shiva Shal Kohagen Nizdam Lobita, and his daughter came. Behind the Carmel who Navli Israel, Hasari Enu Gilad, Im Roife Ein Sham. Furthermore, it says, Asher Lo Sivisi was not commanded to me. Vodibarti was something which I never said. Will also alibi, something which never go in my heart. So what does that mean? So Asher Lo Sivisi Zebro Shel Meisha Melech Moav. This is referring to Mesha, the king of Moab. Shenamar v'yikach has beno habachor, that he took his firstborn son, Asher Yimloch Tachtav, the Aleu Oyla, and he wanted to sacrifice, and went to sacrifice his child. That's not something which God commanded. Vodi Barti, and Hashem never said this. Zeh Yiftach, that he never wanted Yiftach to have to sacrifice his daughter. Though also al libi Zeh Yitzchak ben Avraham, it never even went up into my heart that Yitzchak would be sacrificed. Rabbi obviously we have to understand the whole Kedas Yitzchak. It seems pretty clear that Hashem did tell him to do that. Obviously, there's different Mefarshim whether or not Hashem actually told Abraham to sacrifice his child just to bring him up. The truth is, Kais also asked him properly. Hashem answered properly. The question is why, by Shaul and by Eliezer, for some reason, they were answered properly, not by Yiftach HaGiladi. In the Mefarshim, why is there this distinction? Shnem Rav Neda Nirdafo Ladasas Hashem. We want to know Hashem. Keshachar Nachin Maitzav Yavo Kegeshem Lanoi. Just like the rain. So Amrullah HaKadosh Baruch Hu Biti. You want to compare to the rain, my children, my daughters, At Shoelos Davar Shapamim Mizvakesh, Mizvakesh. You're comparing to rain, which is something sometimes we want, sometimes it's not so good. I want you to compare something that's always desirable. Shnemer, as we said on yesterday's daf, they should be like dew. The Ode Shel Sholei Kohagen. Furthermore, they said Sholei Kohagen. Amrul Lefnei Kadosh Ribbonish Olam Simeni. Please place me kechaisem alibecha, a seal on your heart, kechaisem al zarecha, on your arm. Amar Kadosh Baruch Hu Biti. Ashoel Estaver Shapamin Nira Pamim Menu Nira. When it comes to the heart, sometimes it's open, sometimes it's covered. Your arm is also sometimes covered up. Something which is always visible. Al kapayim chakoisich. The kapayim is the palms, something which is exposed. The hand is always exposed. So that was, again, something that was shloi kahaygen, Hashem answered kahaygen. This is question 1. Mashal Yisrael shloi kahaygen. So, again, they said that Shemi'itu lavakesh Hashem, that Hashem should come to them like rain, but that's not something which is always good. And also that they should be like a chaisem al libo, like a seal on the heart, but that's not something which is continuously seen. Okay. Weiter. Ein shalnes geshamim. So the Mishnah says that we only ask for rain at the proper time. Now, she'ela, as we understand it, is the same talamat bracha, and being zoicher haskara is mashe baruch v'negeshem. So savrua, we think that she'ela haskara chadamilsihi. Maybe they're actually the same thing. Kloimer, says Rashi, hadid tani ein shalnes geshamim, that we don't ask for rain. Hainu ein maskirnes geshamim. It also means we don't mention rain. Maybe it's the same thing. So man Tana, who's the Tana that says Rashi, the Omer Samach Limos Geshamim, during the rain season, Maskirin, that's the one we mentioned, of but not before that, because we don't even want to mention rain unless it's during the rain season. So he says that you should only do it at the time when you put the lulav down, which is after the 7th day, now on the 8th day. It says Rashi, that's already near the rain time. After Sukkot, it's Zman Geshamim. So L'chaira, Haskar and She'el is the same thing. So it's going to be like this opinion. That She'el Chud, that's the same thing. Mishas and Chasso. So I'm going to buy no. Afilotem Rabbi Eliezer. Sheil Chud Haskar Chud. There are two separate things, and you could mention rain before the Zman Geshamim, but we don't ask for rain until the Zman Geshamim. They're totally different things. The Ikadamri, some say Lamas will continue to Dalad Mabeis. Rabbi Yeshua, the Omer Mishas and Chasai. So I'm Rav no Afilotem Rabbi Eliezer. Sheil Chud Haskar Chud. And then the Mishnah said, Rabbi Huda Omer Harvel Ifnei Teiva. So again, when the Baal Musaf is there, so he starts Mashiach Baruch Gashem. That's when the first time on Acharon Shulchag. Minhu, so we asked the question: Ad Masai Shalonas Agashamim. Until when do we ask for rain? It says Rashi, B'sof Yimos Agashamim, at the end of the rainy season. So when? So Rabbi Huda Omer Ad Shiyavar HaPesach. You have to wait until Pesach finishes. It says Rashi, Diamrina and Kol Chol Shel Moed V'sein Tel Matar. That we say even throughout all Chol HaMoed, we'll say V'sein Tel Matar Bracha. So therefore, because V'sein Tel Matar Bracha is a weekday prayer, so therefore it's obviously only Chol HaMoed, but we'll say it then as well. Rameir Omer Ad Shiyavar Nisan. You say it until Nisan is passed, not until Pesach's first day, which is what the Mishnah said. So we don't even have any of these opinions. So Amar Rav Chisda Kasha, Kan l'shoyel, kan l'haskir. It depends. When we're talking about l'shoyel, so you're right, we're going to keep asking for rain. We're going to keep asking for rain, but we're going to stop mentioning rain before that, on the first day of Pesach. So what does that mean? Mishul shoyel, but also we keep asking. Haskir b'yom harishon pasuk. We stop mentioning rain earlier. So Ula hadrav chisda kasha. It's very difficult. It's comparable to vinegar to my teeth and to smoke in my eyes. Ma b'malkam shein shoyel maskir. When it comes to Sukkot, the end of Sukkot, where we don't start asking for rain yet, but we're already mentioning rain. So we start mentioning for rain when we don't ask for rain. So b'makom sheshayel eno din shei maskir. So if we're still asking for rain, we should certainly be maskir. So it doesn't make sense. Why would you stop being maskir first? Ela Omer Ula says trei tanoi oliv Rabbi Yehuda. Really, there's two tanoim according to Rabbi Yehuda. Says Rashi, Chad Omer ad shiyavar haPesach. And one says you have to wait until Pesach's over. Shoalin kol shekin shemaskirin. That you keep mentioning throughout Pesach, and you also say V'sein Tel Matar Bracha throughout Pesach. The Chad Omer she'ela ad Pesach. One says you ask until Pesach. V'askar she'achol lahasker b'yom tov masker b'yom tov rishon shel Pesach b'tfilos yotzer u'musafin poisek. Okay, so it's a machlokas tanoim. That's a second possible answer. Rabbi Yosef Omer my ad shiyavar Pesach. What did it mean when we said that you stop saying or asking for rain, Shiavor HaPesach? Ad Shiavor, what does that mean? Ad Shiavor Shlech Tzibor Rishon HaYored B'Yom Tov Rishon Shel Pesach. So it's really saying the same thing. It doesn't mean when the Pali of Pesach passes over, but when the Shlech Tzibor finishes, which is on the first day of Pesach, which is like we said in our Mishnah. It doesn't make any sense. We don't mention the Saint Matar Bracha on Yom Tov. It's a Shabbos, it's a Yom Tov davening. So Emily yes, Shoyel Meturgamon, the Meturgamon is Shoyel. The Chi Meturgamon, Shoyel, Davashenu Tzarech Latzibor. What does that mean? We're going to have him say something which the Tzibor doesn't need? Rather, we're going to answer and go back to the opinion that we said before. The opinion of Ula that there was two Tanoim Olib Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Omer, my Ad Shiyavar HaPesach, a fourth possible answer. Ad Shiyavar Zman Shchitas HaPesach. It means the time of the Zman Shchitas HaPesach, which is an Erev Pesach, which has a weekday davening by Mincha. So therefore, we do mention the Saint Matar Bracha then. And then the Gemara says as follows: Ukatchilaso Kain Soifo. The beginning, so is the end. Matchilaso by Sukkos. Maskir. We start mentioning rain. We say Mashiach Barach. Amrita Gashem Afal Pi. She'enu Shoyel, but we didn't start asking for rain yet. Afsofo Also by Pesach, Maskir, we continue to mention rain, Alpha Bishina Shayel, even though we stop asking. So therefore, we stop asking for rain already on Erev Pesach, but we stop mentioning it on the first day of Pesach. I can understand at the beginning you start mentioning rain because that's also a ritzoi, because eventually you're going to be asking for rain. It doesn't make any sense because, says Rashi, why do you have to continue to mention rain? Since you'll never need to ask anymore. Since you already stopped asking for rain from yesterday, from Erev Pesach, it's clear. So why would you mention? Again, we say, let's go back to the sheet of Ula, the trait to Rabbi Yehuda. Halacha, Rabbi Yehuda. The halachas are Rabbi Yehuda when we start saying Mashiach Racham Negeshem again, or when we stop saying it on the first day of Pesach, which of course is our minhag. Armali Rav Zeu Rav Asi Umiyom Rav Yochanan Hachi. Does Rav Yochanan really say the halachas are Rabbi Yehuda? V'tnan b'shloish b'Mar Cheshvan, on the third day of the month of Mar Cheshvan, Shoal and Esek Shamim. That's when we start asking for rain. Rabbi Gamliel Eimer b'Shiva Boy. We wait until the 7th. Yom Rabbi Elazar halacha Rabbi Gamliel. Rabbi Elazar says the halacha is like Rabbi Gamliel. Gemara answers, Amalei Gavar Gava Karamis. You're asking like a question from one person to the other. One is nothing to do. One person is not the other. It's not a stira. One could hold the halachas like him. The other holds like him. Imoy Semo Kasha. Kan Lishol Kan Lahaskir. One is referring to Lahashil, and the other one is Lahaskir. They're two different times. That when it comes to Shoalin, to asking for rain, you're right, it's the 3rd of Mar Cheshvan or the 7th of Mar Cheshvan. That's true. However, when it comes to mentioning rain, that already is at the end of Sukkot. Okay. But I thought Rabbi Yochanan says that you do it at the same time. He's talking about when you stop. When you stop, you do both at the same time. Again, on first day of Pesach, we're no longer saying the Tain Tal Mata Bracha. Okay, it's the Yom Tov, but you're not saying it anymore. And also, we stop saying Mashiach Baruch Geshem. So when it comes to La'afsaka, stopping, it's done at the same time. Starting, there's a difference. We start mentioning for rain earlier, and then we start asking for rain a little bit afterwards in the month of Mar Cheshvan. Fine. So again, Hahu La'afsaka Idmar. The Rabbi Yochanan Hiskil Haskil. So you begin to mention Mashiach V'rach, Mask L'Shoyel. You should also begin to ask. Pasim L'Shoyel, Paisik M'Haskir. Here we see that you're also supposed to start at the same time. El L'Kasha, Halon V'Halahu. It depends where you are. Are you in Bavel or are you in Eretz Yisrael? Says Rashi. V'nei Bavel, which is what people in Chutz La'aretz also follow. Sheyesh lanu tvuo, they have grain. Uperis basada, they have a bunch of fruit in their fields. Kol Tishrei ein maskirin. The whole month of Tishrei they don't mention. Ad Shiva b'Mar Cheshvan, until the 7th of Mar Cheshvan. Misham shoalim, and at that point, that's when they start asking for rain. Kinyam Rav Yochanan hiskil haskir maskil shoyel. So for them, they start asking as well as mentioning later on. V'halahu of Nei Eretz Yisrael, says Rashi, the kaitzun b'Nisan, they harvest in Nisan, the oisvim b'Tishrei, and they do the ingathering in the month of Tishrei, maskirin b'Yom Tov Achron, and Rabbi Yehuda, Yom Rav Aseh halacha k'moisai. So they start in Eretz Yisrael already mentioning for rain earlier. So in Eretz Yisrael, they mention rain early. However, in Bavel, they do it later, and that's when they also start asking for rain at the same time. That's what it means, halon, halahu. So, Maishno done. Why, according to us, the Islan Peri Badabra, is because we have fruit. So we don't want to ask now until the fruits are removed from the field. So you don't want to mention anything. But the problem is that Eretz Yisrael, why do we want to even mention rain there either? There are people that are traveling. So Kikam Rav Yochanan Bizman Shein Beis Hamikdash Kayim. You're right. If the Beis Hamikdash isn't around, that's when he's talking about, because there's not oily regalim. Now you can actually say that both are talking about in Eretz Yisrael. V'kasha kan bizman shebeis hamikdash kayim, kan bizman she'in beis hamikdash kayim. So the 7th of Cheshvan versus the starting on the last day of Sukkot, when there's no Beis Hamikdash for people to travel. So in the time of the Beis Hamikdash, they would start even in Eretz Yisrael on the 7th of Cheshvan, only in the 7th of Cheshvan. However, if there was a Beis Hamikdash, they would do that because there was the Beis Hamikdash to allow people who are traveling. However, in the time when the Beis Hamikdash was destroyed, where people are not going up, they're not being oilo regel, so therefore they would start already on the last day of Sukkot. Yanan the Islan Shri Yomi, and us who have 2 days of Yom Tiv, Hechav Dinan. What should we do? So Amarav Maskil b'Musafin. You begin by Musaf. It's very interesting what he thinks you should do. Upaisek b'Mincha. You don't say it by Mincha. Arvish b'Shachris v'Chayizun b'Musafin, and then again you say it again by Musaf on the second day. Amahu Shmuel Puku v'Imru leil Abba Achar Siyasu Kaidim Taseu Chayil. It's hard to understand this. Says Rashi, Bidmia, Shemasik b'Mincha shel Osa Yom. How could you actually interrupt that day? You did it, then you stop, then you do it again on the same day. Omer Shmuel, Maskil b'Musafin u'b'Mincha. You should continue for that day. Now, Paisik Arvis v'Shachris, you don't say it by Arvis or Shachris. V'Chayzu Maskil Musafin, and then again you start it again on Musaf. So on this also we're not satisfied as we continue Ham and Aleph. Rabbi Omer Kivan Shehiskel Shemina Paisik. Once you already mentioned it, says Rashi, B'Shmini, on the 8th day, Safik Shvi, Shuvinu Poisek. That's it. We continue to say it from then on. Once you start, you don't stop. Yaf Rav Haderbe, even Rav retracted. Rav Chananel, Rav, he says, Moine Esrev Echad Yoim, a person should count 21 days. Kederech Shemoina Asar Yomim, just like the 18 days, Rosh Hashanah ad Yom Kippurim. Kederech Shemona, like a person counts, Asar Yomim, the 10 days, Rosh Hashanah ad Yom Kippurim. Umaskil begins. Kivan Shehiskil Shuvin Poisek. Once you begin, you don't stop. So what is this referring to? So if we look at Rashi, Mone Chaf Aleph Yom, we count 21 days. Rosh Hashanah ad Shmini Safik Shvi Shachag. From the first day of Sukkot until the 7th day, which is a suffix 8 or 7 of Sukkot, Kederch Shemonim Rosh Hashanah V'Yad Yom Kippurim Yud Yomim. We also count the Aseret Yemei Tshuva that way. Shemaskil Limnois Miyom Rishon Rosh Hashanah. We begin counting from the first day of Rosh Hashanah. Umaskil Mekan Velach, and we mention from then on. V'zehu Shemaskir B'Shmini Savik Shvi Shuchaf Beis Shuv Enu Poisik. At that point, we do not stop, which we are going to stop. We'll see a couple questions first. Okay, we saw TA 22. Let's go and look at question 1. Mashel Yisrael Shol Kohaygim. We did that. Question 2. Until when do we start asking for rain? 3 answers. Either Ad HaPesach, which means until the 1st of Pesach. Ad Achar Pesach, which includes Chol HaMoed, or Ad Shietzi Nisan, until Nisan is completely finished. Let's look at, I believe there's one more question here. Question 23, TA 23. Omer Rav Chanan, Omer Rav, Mona Esrim Echad Yoim. We count 21 days from Rosh Hashanah until that suffix. Umaskil Haskir Geshamim. We begin mentioning rain. Masai Mona Me Aleph to Rosh Hashanah, Umosai Mebeis to Rosh Hashanah. When do we start counting? And he asks us to look at Rashi as well. I got this question completely wrong. So the answer is Be'elul Chaser, if it's a Chaser month, Moinin Me'aleph to Rosh Hashanah. Uber, if let's say it's a Elul, which has an extra day, Moinin Mebeis to Rosh Hashanah. Then we start counting from the 2nd day of Rosh Hashanah. Ad Kan.